This is Point of View, celebrating a world record-breaking 62 years of quality public affairs programs from the studios of WDEF News 12, Chattanooga.
Hello and welcome to Point of View. My name is Nori Moss. We're excited to have you here and we have a great show in store for you today. So we're going to talk about April. The month of April is Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. We're going to talk to Shelly McGraw. She's going to be our first guest with the Children's Advocacy Center. Hello, Shelly. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited that you're here. Tell us about the month of April and what that means for our youth who may need some help.
You know, all across the nation, people are celebrating the month of April as the month to really stop and think about what it means to protect kids in our community, to prevent child abuse, to empower themselves to have information on how they can best protect kids, but then also to just plug in with kids in their own lives in a way that's fun and in a healthy environment.
Talk to us about blue and the pinwheels and what that means as well, because I'm starting to see a lot of it. Of course, people are like, what does that mean? So talk to us about that.
So as you can see, I'm wearing blue today.
Yes, you are. You look lovely.
I also have a pinwheel pin on because the color blue, royal blue, is the national color for child abuse prevention, and the pinwheel is the symbol of child abuse prevention. You know, when you think about being a kid and you think about just going to a carefree, easy breezy kind of time in your life, and you think about a pinwheel and you blow that pinwheel, it just takes you back to a simpler time, a time when things were just easy, and so the pinwheel is a hopeful symbol.
Right.
We certainly could have a symbol of child abuse prevention that could be a little bit more ominous, but think about how much fun it is that it's a pinwheel.
It is a lot of fun, and when I think of blue, I think of safety, actually.
Yeah.
It feels like a safe color.
Yes.
And so I like that. Also, your motto is to help, hope, and healing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So talk to us about how that plays into the different services that you offer to the families that come and need help.
Absolutely. So the Children's Advocacy Center served 656 kids last year who were alleged victims of sexual or severe physical abuse, which is pretty shocking. It was our second highest year in our 25-year history of children we served, and we offer a variety of services to make sure kids get what they need to go back to being a kid again.
Right.
First, we do forensic interviews to find out if abuse occurred. The Department of Children's Services works with us, as well as our local law enforcement, to just find out what may or may not have happened with a child, or even their siblings, if they were a witness to anything. Then, of course, with the healing aspect, we offer medical exams and medical treatment. We do counseling with the kids with trauma-focused therapy as long as they need it.
Right.
And then our hope is that we can live in a world without child abuse. So the hope portion of our mission is to just get out and train people on how to protect kids in their lives and how to respond early if something does happen.
Now, you have a lot of people that volunteer, that help,
Yes,
that
we
just
do.
are a part of making these families and children safe, a part of enriching their lives. Talk to us about a few of the volunteers that you've encountered who have been phenomenal in this process as far as helping families and helping the kids.
Absolutely. You know, we have a couple of different types of volunteers. There are some that they want to dig in and actually work directly with the children we serve. They may want to come and sit in the family room and keep, say, a mom company while their child receives some kind of service. They help us with paperwork, which we have mountains and mountains of.
Right.
They help us just with playing with kids. You know, sometimes a family may come in and it may be that the siblings are not receiving services, but mom has to bring them in with her.
Right.
So we have some volunteers who just love to get on the floor and play with kids. We also know that a lot of volunteers, that's just a little too difficult.
Yeah.
Knowing what some of these kids have gone through, that's a challenge for them to volunteer in that way. So there are community outreach volunteers. They help us raise money. They help us go to fairs and fun community activities and just talk about what we do and help spread the word about what we're doing.
Okay. Talk to us about some of the events that you have coming up for Child Abuse and Prevention Month.
Yes.
I know you're doing things daily. You have your annual events that are coming up as well. But talk to us about daily, how people can get involved and help with the Advocacy Center.
So we have a calendar. There is something you can do all 30 days of the month of April, and some of them are more passive things you can do, like us on Facebook and take a picture of yourself with a pinwheel, take a selfie that way. There's also some things you can do to really plug in, such as going out to the Creative Discovery Museum for the Family Free Night on the 14th.
Okay.
Also, we have a race, a 5K trail run called Outrun Abuse, and this is just a super fun event out at Greenway Farms. You can bring the kids, they can jump on bouncy houses while you get in shape and go run, and there'll be vendors and lots of fun things. So we really have something almost every day. We are super busy, but mainly we want to keep the community conversation going.
Gotcha. Well, you definitely have the communication going. Tell me something that attracted you, because you're the executive director, so all things run through you and everything is running smoothly, which is awesome. What attracted you to this agency in particular?
You know, when I started at the CAC, I've been there 12 years, and the agency's 25 years old. So I've been there for about half of its existence, and I didn't have children yet. And everyone told me once I had kids of my own, it would definitely change my perspective working there, and it certainly has.
Right.
You know, a lot of people, once they have children, they say, I can't even fathom being a part of this because every child that comes in the door is like my own child.
That's right.
For me, it became something that how could you not do this work? How could you not invest in kids and invest in the people that are taking care of them?
Right.
We try to make sure that the social workers that we work with, those DCS workers, those law enforcement officers, they're unsung heroes, and what they are really doing, they see the worst of the worst. So our job is not just to take care of families, but it's to take care of that team of people.
Well, you have a great team of people. For people who are wanting information on the agency, the Children's Advocacy Center of Hamilton County, if they want to get involved, what is the number they need to call? What is that contact information? You
know, the best way to get in touch with us is actually on our website. It's cachc.org. And there is tons of information there. We actually have an app. We are the only CAC in the country that has our own app. You can download our app, and that has lots of different arms you can go into depending on what your interest is. You can plug into us with social media. But if you go on our website, you can shoot us an email and let us know what is it you need. Are you looking for information? Are you somebody who needs help? Are you someone who wants to volunteer or just wants to find out what's going on in the community? So.
Gotcha. Well, as we get ready to wrap up this segment of Points of View, I wanted to ask you if there's anything that you wanted people to know and understand about the Children Advocacy Center of Hamilton County. What do they need to understand about this organization? And, you know, some people are scared to reach out. Some people are scared to get that help. What do you do to encourage them to make that phone call, to go ahead and contact you?
Sure. Well, the first thing people need to know is that if anyone even suspects child abuse, they are mandated to call and report it and let the professionals sort out whether or not something's really happened.
Gotcha.
And that is a really easy number to remember in Tennessee. It's 1-877-54-ABUSE. So even if there is a suspicion of child abuse, it's important to report it. Second of all, I think it's important that people know that we are here to help. We certainly don't deal with all types of issues that law enforcement or all types of issues that children might be dealing with, but we certainly are able to point people in the right direction. We're a really good resource to tell them where they need to go for whatever they need.
Well, Shelley, thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk with us. I know you are a very busy woman, and you have events planned for the next 30 days. But we really appreciate you being here. We're excited to have you here, and we have to have you back on the show.
Oh, I would love to. Thank you so much.
We'll definitely do that. Well, you're definitely checking out Point of View as of right now, and it's a pleasure to be here. We're excited to highlight the Children Advocacy Center of Hamilton County with Shelley McGraw, the Executive Director. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to talk to Rick Rushing III, and he is doing something a little different with the blues and music. He's healing people, and we'll talk about how he is applying that in his song and his music on Point of View.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Welcome to Point of View. From wearing blue to talking and singing about the blues, we have Rick Rushing III. He's in the studio with us. How you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank you for being here. I'm excited that you're here. You have been playing music and singing the blues all around the city of Chattanooga, but it's something a little bit special about what you do because you help people in the process. We're going to get to that shortly, but first, when did you fall in love with music?
Since I was born, it was always around.
Just out the womb.
Just out the womb. It was always in the house. It was always around. So it's just one of those things that helped us get through some of the tougher times. So that's why I kind of try to give back with the music that kind of helped me through things as well.
Talk about some of the music that you listened to in your household growing up that was influential to you.
We listened to a lot of jazz, a lot of R&B, a little bit of blues, you know.
Now, blues is something that kind of stuck with you.
Right.
And you play blues around Chattanooga all the time and surrounding areas as well. You know, picking up a guitar and playing that song that, you know, speaks from the soul and heart and in turn speaks to other people's soul and heart. When did you first pick up a guitar?
Well, in 8th grade, I played guitar.
Okay.
So I was a little bit more focused on athletics then, and so I put it down. And then when I moved back to Chattanooga, a good friend of mine taught me how to play.
Okay.
And taught me the blues, and that's where everything just kind of went up from there.
Now, I've had the pleasure of, you know, seeing you play in the studio before, and you've done a phenomenal job as far as just off the cuff and singing songs from the, like I said, from your heart and from your soul that really relate to a lot of different people. But as far as music is concerned, you've used it in a different capacity. You've used it to help people, and you've played at different centers like Siskin and like the Family Justice Center. Tell me how that, I guess you could say, marriage of music and helping patients kind of came together.
That really started when I was first learning the guitar around 2003, and I was working at Cumberland Hall Psychiatric Hospital, and so I would bring my guitar to work. And so the kids would look forward to me coming in, which would also make my night a lot easier dealing with them. So I'd bring my guitar to work and play with them and then play music for them. And then from then we got to use the music in groups and things of that nature, one-on-one sessions and things like that. So.
What are some of the songs that the kids that were there wanted to hear, or that you thought you could play for them that would just be fun music for them to listen to?
There's a lot of, just depending on the age, you know, with the kids, I'd play Happy and You Know It.
Okay.
You know, that's one of my favorite songs because it's always, when you hear it, you get into it, clap your hands, stomp your feet.
Get the kids moving around a little bit.
Right.
Okay.
And then there's also Benny King, Stand By Me, Bob Marley, Don't Worry.
I love Bob.
You know, things like that. You can't do too much hip-hop on a guitar, so, you know, I have to stick with the things that are out there, but at the same time, a lot of the youth like to rap over it and things, which would help them, you know, express themselves.
How would you categorize your style of music? Because I know music that has influenced you, of course, jazz and blues and reggae and different types of music, but what would you say your style of music? Because you don't necessarily all the time play by yourself. You also are accompanied by other musicians, so talk to us about that.
It's blues-based, but it's today's type of blues, and and if you can play the blues, you can play anything else because it's the foundation. So once you have that foundation, you go from there. So like you said, like reggae, like jazz, but it's blues, you know, it's just a today's blues, like, you know, what's going on, a little bit of electricity to it, and a little bit of heart and soul, which it's got to have, you know, to connect.
When you think about the state of the world today, if you could pick a song that could uplift and breathe life into just unity with the music, just to heal the nation, what song would you pick? Got to think about
That's
this
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I think Pharrell's Happy was one that was big back when I was at DCS.
Okay.
And so, you know, that's the one we all would jam into the office with, just to make us feel better. And then on, you know, on a Bob Marley thing,
I would say One Love if I had to pick a Bob Marley song. I would say, you know, One Love is one of those intergenerational songs, and everybody feels it. It gets you happy. I think that's why I like reggae, and we can kind of relate on a blues tip, because when you can really feel the words that the artists are saying, and it's a part of your life, or if you've experienced it, then it really takes you to a different place. And I think that's one of the healing powers of blues, the healing powers of music, is being able to really find that moment of relatability and how that captures you. Earlier on the show, we had Shelley McGraw, and we talked about the Children's Advocacy Center of Hamilton County, and her being an executive director, you know, the month of April. And you have your blue on today.
I do.
Are you missing is your pinwheel? You have your blue on for Child Prevention and Abuse Month. You know, if you were to go into a facility and someone said, you know, hey, Rick, we would like you to come and play for some of our kids that have had it a little rough in life, would you, what kind of songs would you pick for those kids? Or would it be a Happy and You Know It, or would it be really just light?
It depends. I think I like to use blues because you can tell a little bit of a story, you know, with the repeating lines. So if I'm talking to some youth about what their problems are, maybe they're tired of school, or, you know, I'm getting bad grades. So it's, I'm getting bad grades, you know, you know, I'm grounded another night or something. Yeah. And then we repeat that. And then the next stanza is going to be the resolution, maybe what they can do to try to get those grades up.
Gotcha.
Right. So I'm getting bad grades, I'm grounded all night. Getting bad grades, I'm grounded all night. Maybe I shouldn't stay up. Maybe I should start doing right.
Boom.
Boom. And if they say it and I don't say it, it's more effective, because I don't need to say it. I need to help them.
But it's reinforcement through music.
Right.
I love it. I think music it really is a wonderful process. And like I said, we have a lot of people that are going through things. We have a lot of people that are hurting. We have a lot of people that want to help other people, and trying to find your talent and your niche and how you can get in there and help others. I think that is the key. And that's one of the things that I enjoy about your work and what you do, is because you found your niche, and then you're helping other people in the process. And I think that's what it's all about, getting out there and helping other people.
Well, thanks. I enjoy what you do as well in the community, because you do a great job, an advocate and all that. And I'm very professional, so thanks for having me. And I'm going to keep it up as long as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to check out some of your music, but if people would like to find out more about you, find out some more information about what you have going on, how do they get in contact with you?
The easiest way is to find me on Facebook. My band is Rick Rushing and the Blue Strangers. I have a Twitter. It's the Roman numeral 3 @Rushing. And I teach at the Chattanooga Workspace downtown on 6th Street. So if you want to take some lessons, come on by.
What are those lessons like? Do I have to bring a guitar?
No, you don't.
I just bring my voice?
You bring your voice.
I just sing for the Lord in the choir.
Right. We have to cut a couple of those nails maybe, you know.
Okay, well, the guitar, so I can strum the guitar.
Right. A little sacrifice.
It's a little sacrifice.
A little bit.
How are your workshops going there?
They're going well. I have a few ukulele students.
Ukulele?
Ukulele.
How many instruments do you play?
4 or 5.
4 or 5?
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. I think the voice is an instrument, so I count that.
Okay.
So that's one of them. Bass, guitar, ukulele, spoons.
You play the spoons? I'm talking about like slapstick spoons on the knee?
Percussion, how about that? Yeah.
Okay. Your band. Talk to us about your band. Who's in your band and what instruments they play?
My band is a power trio, which is a drummer and a bass player.
Okay.
So it's Chris Lacey plays drums, and Dakari Kelly's playing bass. Tyler Martelli will play with us sometimes, harmonica, and so we have a nice lineup. We're working on some horns sometimes and trying to have fun with it. Chattanooga's really embracing the music scene.
Very much so.
You know, and so we have to, you know, this is Bessie Smith's home and of the blues, so we have to keep them blues real.
Right.
A lot of people are doing blues and folk and all types of music, so trying to embrace the roots of that. You know?
Right. Do you have other musicians around the city that you've listened to that you're a fan of or that you want to work with?
Yes.
And have you worked with a lot of local musicians here in Chattanooga outside of your band?
I have. And because I've done it for a long period of time, I've got to play with a lot of people. So there's a lot of people that, man.
We have such an array of talent here in Chattanooga, and I just wonder, as far as the collaboration process goes, you know, do your band collaborate with other bands? And
Right.
Are we going to start to see those shows outside of just, you know, you playing and doing, because what you're doing is great. So you play for the different patients at different locations, and you provide that healing aspect through music and through song and through blues, but then to also, you know, share and nudge other local artists to get into to that healing process as well. So that's why I was just wondering how that collaboration process went for you.
Well, it goes, if someone's playing a show maybe at Clyde's on Main, or they, you know, they might need someone to fill in. They try to get somebody that's kind of similar, and so they, you know, I'd maybe reach out and say, hey, would you guys like to join us to play this, and that nature. And they'll bring their people, or our people will hopefully show up, and then we can come together, share that music that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I love what's happening on the music scene in Chattanooga, and I like what you're doing as far as that community aspect and helping people. And so we always want to shed light on that. And of course, we also want to make sure that, you know, people understand that we have some of the most talented people in the world that are here in Chattanooga, and I'm excited about that. I really am. So, as I've said before, you are in store for a treat. We are going to have Rick Rushing III play us off the show and give us some blues for this show, Point of View.
This song called Many Mountains, Many Musics. Many mountains, many music comes a-rolling, nose to the river flows. 'Cause I'm an Appalachian mountain blues, baby, so that's where I'll go. So many mountains, so many blues, ain't nothing to lose. On the river, teacher starts with history, and it wasn't boring me. 'Cause he said, son, a lazy man can't play no guitar. Well, let it set you free. So many mountains, so many blues, ain't nothing to lose. So many mountains, so many blues, ain't nothing to lose. 'Cause We can stand as champions on our mountain, baby. The beauty brings tears to my eyes. 'Cause I'm an Appalachian mountain blues, baby. And that's why I fly. So many mountains, so many blues. Ain't nothing to lose. So many mountains, so many blues, ain't nothing to lose.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Funding for this program is brought to you by Barnett & Company, specializing in tax-efficient strategies for the preservation and distribution of family wealth, offering continuous investment management with a focus on long-term strategies. Areas of service include investment, estate, education, and retirement planning. Barnett & Company, the power of compound returns over time. More information can be found on the web at barnettandcompany.com.